I only do. I hate it. I'm too old for that.
We're all tied up as this first set is dead even.
Unbelievable combination.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
What a great spot.
Yeah, but you did a great job.
Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Tour. We're live from the Rolling Hills Country Club in Wilton, Connecticut, bringing you the 2026 Fairfield Open with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsor, Corian. Tournament support has also been provided by the following local tournament sponsors: the Cocktail Collection, Open, Pour, and Serve, Fairfield County Women's Platform Tennis League, Fairfield County Men's Platform Tennis League, Rolling Hills Paddle Ladies, Voyage Group at Wells Fargo Advisors, Connecticut Dermatology Group, FX Air, Trivium, Connecticut GI, M4 Paddle, Xenon Paddle, and Bar Taco. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside Brad Easterbrook, bringing you the men's final match between Enrique Pardo de Andrade and Jose Salazar versus Tomas Christian and Mick Irdoja. Our chair umpire for the match is Elaine Villamure. Brad, welcome to the booth.
Oh, pleasure to call this with you again, Mike. So there you go. We have our players up there on the big board, the court director big board. We'll take a quick look at them on the court so everybody can see them down there. All right, and they just left, so even better. So just give us a second actually to talk about the match. You and I had the pleasure of calling the match yesterday, the semifinal between Irdoja and and against their opponents from yesterday, which was a great match, Leon and Moyo, and good hard three-setter. You know, the road for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar, who you see there on the bottom of your screen now. Pardo de Andrade is Enrique Pardo de Andrade is the tall guy in the black there, and his partner in the white vest, Jose Salazar. On the far side, you see Tomas Christian in the dark blue, I guess we'll call it, dark blue hoodie, and his partner, the lefty, and Mick Irdoja. And Irdoja and Christian, to me, were the wild card in this team. And when I saw the draw, I called them to win the tournament from the get-go. But our number one seeds are Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. So we're looking forward to a great match out here. There's umpire Elaine Villamure. All right, they're getting right into it. So this is Juan Salazar to start in the white vest, his partner at the net. Enrique Pardo de Andrade, I think that hit the seam and just popped into Mick Irdoja there. So 15 love. Say Salazar. Tomas Christian to return right now.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing how, we talked about the schemes last night for the matches, and, I'd love to see here Tomas Christian like he played, his normal, absolute rock solid style from the ad side there. Mick Irdoja last night, Brad, he really came out, thumping that forehand, but I think late in that third set, he really hurt Moyo and Leon off the back screen, right? I mean,
sure.
He was hitting that forehand really well off the screen.
I mean, Irdoja can hit the forehand really from anywhere. As we talked about before, Mick Irdoja and anyone is a great team and is a threat in any tournament. He is that good. He is a national champion. He's taken the last couple of years off, and that's just a beautiful combination from Tomas Christian. You can see just such a seasoned player. Perfect lob down the line, opens up a seam, crushes it down there. Beautifully done. And Christian right now is starting off. He's hit a lot of drives. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about him having the ability to sort of fill in the gaps and be a great partner to anyone. He can play a little slow, he can play faster. He's a good volleyer, and he has offense. sometimes he'll decide to play a very little of it, just stay consistent. Other times he'll open it up more. In the early going here, he's opening up his offense more, looking ahead. Now, I'm curious. Sorry, Mike. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was thinking is I'm wondering if they're going to work Pardo de Andrade and Salazar in a way where Salazar's taking 90% of the overheads and switch at the net, or are they going to play it pretty straight up? So I'm curious about a lot of things here. These are not typical partnerships. Of course, Jose Salazar usually plays, with Regalado, and Pardo de Andrade has been playing with Dabic a bit. And just seeing Irdoja getting back on the tour a little bit this year, we hope to see more of him.
I really like that change up with the drive that Irdoja hit there. Took a little bit of the pace off, gave a little bit spin and a little more spin. It's that forehand we're already talking about.
Yeah, and again, yesterday we were bringing it up in our semifinal. The middle of the court is not safe. Irdoja is really, really looking to get in there, and his forehand is that good. It's pretty automatic. The only place he gets into trouble if he overuses it and they start to expect it and close in on it. Otherwise, that's a great shot there from Pardo de Andrade. He's a big guy. He's like, got to be at least 6'4", I think. And I tried to bounce it over him, and he just spikes it down at his feet.
Yeah, and he's a very dynamic player in his own right. You saw the two-hander already. He can pop the forehand. He's got, a big presence at the nets, with like you said, his wingspan. But surprisingly, very good hands, very soft hands. Can spin the overheads, can roll the overheads.
Yeah, he's a ton of talent, and a very good, player. He's right there. It's really just a question of disciplining choices kind of for him. And that's what I love to see. I actually loved this tournament. This tournament had a great, fun draw. Different teams out there. Irdoja coming back. We saw John Hughes in the draw. So it was a blast, to see some of these guys back there. I don't think John Hughes is making a comeback by any means, but it's just great to see him in the draw. And when you see these different partnerships, people are just learning more. A guy like Pardo de Andrade, as much as he's been playing near the top of the game for the entire season, he still has a couple of things to learn, right? And playing with different partners and different players. That's a huge back end you were talking about, Mike, is such a good idea. You could see it early on in, Graham McNerney's career, right? He played with literally everyone. And each time he kind of cataloged a new thing to learn, or a new, tendency even from a, when you play against them in the future. So it's just all learning process for these guys.
What I would think too, and the differentiator at the highest levels here is really, it's not necessarily the shots, it's the execution, right, of the use of the shots and kind of the discipline.
Yeah, the choices, the discipline to make the right choice at the right time too.
To win at the highest level, you've got to have kind of not only all the shots, but clearly the discipline to hit the right shots at the right time.
All right, so in the early going here, Christian Irdoja showing, that's just a great little slippery drive, and he's right there for it, but it hits the top of the net, goes over his paddle. Christian Irdoja definitely trying to attack, hit some cut spin overs. They've missed 2 in this game. Down love 40 now, great serve. There's another cutter right down there. I wonder if they think they need to play this in a quicker pace. They certainly are to start. You can see Pardo de Andrade, quick lob up, then he moves up the wire to take the one-timer backhand. So he's combining his shots really well. Looking for certain outcomes, which all players at this level do. Coverage and immediate switch in the backcourt there.
And again, we've got all 4 players are teaching professionals.
Oh, can he track it down? He's got it. Nice volley attack there from Pardo de Andrade as he closes in. Beautifully done. As soon as that little net court puts them out of position, they put 3 pressure balls in and they can't come up with it. All right, Pardo de Andrade and Salazar, 5-point streak. Yeah, you just saw it up there. It's like it's got the fire signal by it. Certainly good for them and a great start. Yeah, we're still in the feel-out stage here, this one. I think, you know, for Christian Irdoja, Irdoja's just getting back in here playing a couple of matches. I don't think he's ever faced Pardo de Andrade. Christian probably has at this point. Not sure what their head-to-head is. We'll have to look that up. You know, Pardo de Andrade, I think his backhand's actually better than his forehand. He can hit the forehand too. Fadeaway backhand. He has the one-hander, but that seemed like a tough one to make. Salazar has become so consistent with his driving and been so much more offensive this season. He's, you know, they've always been a really good, consistent team and a consistent player. He's always had the shots, but now you can see him speeding up and attacking the plate much more so than he has. That's just great play.
You know, wow. Pardo de Andrade, you know, had his chin on the net and he knew it was coming, and I think that's where Mick's got to watch out, that if he doesn't have the advantage and the space to hit, hands are too good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. We saw that in yesterday's match too. As great as Irdoja's forehand is, if you're back behind the baseline and the other guy's right on the net, you know, he's ending up hitting an offensive volley at you, you're in worse shape. He actually lost the point because of the drive. Like that one there too, it's the same kind of situation. It's not a good ball for him to drive. You see Pardo de Andrade right there attacking the volley. Ooh, you don't see that often. Christian moving to the middle and taking that spot right in front of, we didn't see that one time yesterday. I love it.
He said, hey, Mick, hold my beer. Here you go. Take notes.
But the whole day yesterday in our semifinal call, you know, he was basically moving to the side and letting Irdoja play every one of those balls. Nice dig. Oh my goodness! I don't think I've ever seen a ball hang on the net that long, Mike.
That was like checking for Velcro.
That's unreal. That thing literally sat there for, I would think that was a full second.
It couldn't make up its mind which side it wanted to fall on.
I think it was waiting for like some encouragement. And then I think Irdoja took a step towards it and then it just fell right over it. So he intimidated it to the other side.
Must have breathed on it.
That's going to go wide. He's going to try to hit that inside-out dipper. It's one of the hardest shots in the game to hit. All right, 3-love start for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. It's looking good. You know, I'm wondering right now if Christian and Irdoja just need to slow it down just a slight bit. Slow it down a little bit.
Pump the brakes a little bit.
Pump the brakes. Right. Play a little more balance point. Because the drives that they're hitting, they're actually just, they expect them to hit it, right? Which means you're playing at too fast a pace. They're not off the net, or they're not, you know, pushed back. They got to start setting up a few more of these things with the lobs a little bit. That said, it's still just really early on in this match. They're probably still almost warming up. And of course, on our other live stream, we do have the women's final as well. And that is, of course, Morgan and Sikora, our number 2 seeds, against 3 seeds of Page and Sarich. Great, you know, player from Long Island. It's great to see her out here in her first final. Had a great win in the semifinals against Elliott and Lalich. Sarich and Page. So that's a tough team. She's a good lefty. There are not that many lefties on the women's tour.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. Can you come up with another lefty that's playing at the top of the game right now? I think she's the only one, right?
She's the only one. So when we say not that many, we mean there are none, right? There are none playing at the top of the women's game, and there haven't been for a few years, actually. So it's, you know, as she gets there, that should be a little element. You know, if she develops some spin and different things, that could work really well for her. She's a very good player. Oh, great slap drive. Joya taking the ball lower than the net. Not a simple shot. Great recognition there. He sees Christian come in. He gets it behind him with the waterfall.
I tell you, I'm loving the one-handed backhand. I just think it's so cool because it's not something that we see much on the court, right?
Very little, and it's got a lot of style, a lot of flair. It's a little long, like it's a pretty cool shot. Like he puts his whole body into it, right? He's hitting it, and it's got a whole huge finish. It is a stylish shot for sure.
I mean, Johan Durant, he would pull that out every once in a while. I'm trying to think of anybody else.
I mean, Araya had a really good one-hander off the screen and occasional ones here and there. Yeah, it's very few and far between.
Takes us to our first sudden deuce point here.
All right, we haven't quite gone over that, but of course on the men's side now this season, they are using the sudden death. Every deuce point is a sudden death point, and the serving team gets to choose who they're serving to.
That it's different than when you play no-ad in tennis, where the receivers get to choose. And why do they do that in paddle, Brad?
I mean, just because in the tennis world, the server is the one with the advantage, so the receiver gets to choose. Here, the returner really has more of the advantage than the server, so it works the other way around. And I think it's completely the right way to do it for paddle, and the right way to do it for tennis as well.
Well, it takes us a 4-love lead here for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar.
Yeah, they're just playing lights out and making very few mistakes. There's been shot making on both sides. They're just executing better overall and picking and choosing their shots slightly better. Like, if there was a knock on Pardo de Andrade, it's that he would go for too much at certain times and things like. We haven't seen that at all, you know. But they're also not working him that way, right? These points are moving fast. And he's getting to do all the things he's great at. Like right there, he's right on top of the net, just sticking a volley from 1 inch away, right? They're not pushing him out of position and forcing the, you know, weak lob and then taking the shot there. It's just been really, really well done. And to me, Christian and Irdoja are just forcing things.
Yep, yep.
And not in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, I will say the one thing about Irdoja, like, there are some funny stories associated with how he, like, you know, taught a full day, you know, and then went and got on a plane and went to his home in Estonia, played an Estonian, I don't know, Davis Cup match or something, and then he's back on a plane the next day teaching, right? You know, he doesn't back down from anything. But there's like, even there, he's like standing in, and he's just standing there. That is an insane shot there from Salazar, and they're getting to play so free. All right, so 5-love, and it's time to talk about Corient.
Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2025-26 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at Corient.com.
You know, but at this point, it's like, you know, he's standing at the service line and behind while the other guy's closing in, hit his feet, and he's taking a half volley in a, you know, when he should maybe just be bailing and hitting a lob, and then ends up with a cut drop. And it's so freeing for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar, because they're just getting free looks at things without having to work super hard for these points. I mean, this is, you know, shockingly to me, 5-love in. When did we start this? I mean, you know, with the warm-up in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So it's an incredible start for those guys. In fairness, though, you know, I don't believe Salazar and Pardo de Andrade missed a ball. You know, like, they're not missing. But Christian and Irdoja are definitely playing into them to a degree, and right there, perfect commentator jinx, he hits a lob out. Oof, great hands there. Unless Christian put himself in a perfect position where the ball either has to hit his paddle or go out or around him.
Yeah, and he was locked. He had that backhand volley locked and loaded. He was not looking to do anything but volley. The ball hit right at him.
Yeah, he bailed right away. He knew he overhit that. Just trying to get some spin overheads on Pardo de Andrade. He's got him that time. Christian makes a good move, but the ball does just get over him a little. He can't quite get on top of it. 15 all. Not to say that our producers have a rooting interest, but every time, you know, Christian or Irdoja make a mistake, he's throwing his hands up in the air. I'm sure he's got money on the game or whatnot. Who are you rooting for? All right, well, in fairness, he is a Jersey guy, and Christian and Irdoja are both from Jersey, so. Switch at the net, get the lefty on the other side. There is very few safe places, though, to hit against Pardo de Andrade and you know, Salazar. There's really nowhere to go. He's got huge wingspan, and you know, Salazar can hit off both sides, so it's tough tasks. But I like just slowing it down here a little, and as they do that, you know, the other guys are just staying balanced. They're not taking a bait on anything. They're waiting for the right ball they want to drive.
Well, and I think, you know, with the Pardo de Andrade, you know, he loves to play fast, clearly. And, you know, that drive off the backside screen there,
yeah, that backhand.
two-handed,
yep,
is, I mean, that is wicked. And I think, you know, the only way that you'd have to play against these guys is you're going to have to slow it way down and see if you can, you know, bait Enrique into kind of hitting the wrong shot at the wrong time.
Good cut off there from Christian. Yeah, and they are slowing it down here a little bit, but you can see they're not taking the bait. But this is the first time. This is the longest point of the match by probably a mile, right? And I expected to see a little more of this as it went on. Great job. He didn't take the bait there either. He's waiting for the right ball. But this is only the first time, Mike, that, you know, they've had to do this. Salazar and they're just hanging in there perfectly here, though. Great lob.
Boy, Salazar's doing a really good job with the placement of his overheads. You could almost lay a dish towel in that line on the single sideline there, and he's hit every time when Irdoja has been over in that deuce corner.
Yeah, there's no question that he has, you know, he went to the finals 2 years ago and almost won nationals in really their first full season. And then the year before he lost in the semifinals, so he's right at the top of the game. But this season he's added to his game. He's gotten more offensive. More of his rollers are getting much more precise at the crease. He's added a little more spin over. He still prefers the roller type overhead, but, you know, added some cuts in there. You saw him hit a backhand cut early, a phenomenal one. So he's added to his offensive repertoire. He's hitting more, and, you know, and you can see it in his play everywhere. Even with Regalado and Salazar, he's taking over more of the court and driving more balls. Nah, see the fadeaway there. That's the one they got to put in their back pocket. He's fading back away and hitting a big drive from behind the baseline. I thought they started that point off the right way, Mike, and they were doing it the right way, and then all of a sudden he just pulls the trigger on that one ball. And to me, that's just, I don't think that's what's going to get him back into the match. You know, like hitting great shots from behind the baseline that are, you know, obscenely difficult. You know, it'd be great if he made it. Maybe it lights a fire under you, but I think even if he made the shot, they still volley it. And you don't have position behind it to do more. So unless you're making him miss the volley, you're gaining very little with it. You know, at this point, you're not worried about winning this set if you're Christian Irdoja. You want to start playing points better and make the other guys work and make them just feel you a little bit. You know?
Yeah, kind of really playing for the future of the second set, basically. It's trying to find a little footing, some rhythm.
Yeah, the only good thing about losing a set 6-love is you possibly give the other team a bit of false confidence, and they're like, and then they loosen up and they start going for a little too much, and they give you a little window to creep in there when they start making a few errors. You know, I mean, and again, this is a 2 out of 3 set match. This match is far from over. It's just been a fantastic set. You know, on that, he's gonna dig it. He got it. Oh, slipping. Yeah, that one corner over there, you could see a little dark blue on it. He just got back in there, and he goes for that big drive. All right, so here we are at set point. Irdoja serving, his partner Tomas Christian at the net. Ricky Pardo de Andrade receiving, big backhand down the line, beautiful. Look at that control And that's just, to me, was like, that was like, forget it, the set's over. Like, if I hit this, it's great. If I don't, it's fine too. We're going to start in that second set, just wipe the slate clean.
I think so. So we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel with live streaming brought to you by ProFlight and match statistics provided by Court Director.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside Brad Easterbrook at the Rolling Hills Country Club with the finals, men's final, the 2026 Fairfield Open. Enrique Pardo de Andrade, Jose Salazar versus Tomas Christian and Mick Irdoja.
Yeah, we got.
Let's take a look at these stats.
Here we go. 73% points won. Yeah, 24-9. You only need 24 sets, 24 points. We did have one sudden deuce win for those guys, so we had one sudden deuce game. You know, the reality is it was just way too many errors, you know, from Christian and Irdoja, and also they played way too fast. Like, some of the errors went the right shot you want to hit at the right time. I expect they'll dial it back a little and take stock of that. You know, for them, this set, it's almost like the set didn't happen. We're warmed up now. All right, let's get to business now. You just got to wipe the slate clean and have a short memory about it. And actually, to be honest, the same for our number one seeds, you know, Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. They just got to be like, these guys are going to get better. Let's just keep doing what we do. We're not going to fall into any traps, start going for more than we did. They played a perfect set.
Yeah, and like you said, just a short, they've got to have Christian Irdoja, short memory, right? Come out and start the second set. And I think, you know, if this is, you know, the team needs a quarterback to say, okay, let's slam on the brakes here and arrest this this first set, forget about it, and we move on.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and it. Well, we're right in there. Alain Villamur up in the chair. You know, just announced his second set. And there we go. Practice serve there from Jose Salazar. Yeah, wipe the slate clean. Get after it. You know, everybody has good sets. Everybody has bad sets. But this is a whole match. They dug themselves a little hole, but certainly nothing you can't come back from. I like your point, though, Mike, about saying, like, you know, a quarterback, you know, Christian and Irdoja, is there a quarterback out there, anybody sort of like slowing it down a little? Great shot, a terrific roller low. Irdoja's there. I think he was shocked to miss it. It was a terrific shot.
It's a good lob.
Yep. All right, that's at least combination, because at least they're off the net there when those drives are coming. That's what we want. Perfectly done, great positioning. You know, Pardo de Andrade, he's been great at closing off the net. Spike there from Irdoja. Side note, though, Mike, you're a Chicago guy. How you feeling about your Bears?
Well, you know, it's I think this season every win is like a is like a bonus. I think they're playing a lot better than most of us anticipated. Boy, Ben Johnson, quite a coach. He's got them whipped into shape.
There is. Great shot there. Beautifully spotted. He sees exactly where they are. Puts that thing right on that middle line and catches him off the right hip. Makes him flip the paddle, the forehand volley. Just a great spot there from Salazar. So accurate.
You talk about these little momentum streaks. This is, I think, the third time that Pardo de Andrade and Salazar got 5 or more points in a row. I mean, that is a freight train.
Yeah, it's a 6-point streak they are on right now. You got the fire signal next to it, but they're helping it. You know, if I had to say there's a shot that I want Irdoja to put in the bag right now, you know, you hit that forehand, like reverse forehand, and it finishes up behind your head instead of like out in front of you and through. And it's a very legitimate shot on the tennis court, and you need it at various times. Oh no, you called that wide, yeah, and I think it's called overruled. All right. It's that one that he's hitting like from back and he's finishing up here. That you have to finish up like that. That means the ball's a little behind you. It's okay. Like if people use it in the tennis court. I'd rather he just put that in his pocket. It just means he's too far back in the way. All right, so a couple little, you know, changes here. We got right away here. As a ball was overruled, this could be exactly what they need. It's a quirky set of circumstances here. That's like bringing them to basically their second game point, because we only had one other sudden deuce game, and that was they didn't win a game in the first set. So this is the second game point here for Christian and Irdoja.
Brad, I'd like to see Irdoja work that lob a little bit more down the line to Salazar. You see how he's lobbing a lot of balls into the center?
Yeah.
And it's almost like giving Salazar that direct run at the crease with the roller.
And Salazar's doing this beautifully. You notice he's doing every single ball where? To the side screen. Every single one's just hard and into the back, and he's baiting him into that backhand shot. We know he can hit it, but this is great. He's making him hit the shot that he's less, you know, that is not his best shot at a crucial moment.
Yes.
I think it's just perfectly played. You know, it's exactly what you're looking to do. Good move there from Christian. And then again, Andrade just reading and closing in and volleying offensively. Beautiful. Again, another one right in that corner. Every single one rollers into that side screen. But as you say, he keeps giving him the angle because he doesn't lob it down the line, right? That's a good setup. And again, right into that side screen.
You know, and the players are able to control the action by where they place their lobs. You know, you're either directing or redirecting the overheads. Wow.
Fist pumps, double fist pumps.
Double.
That was pretty good. You know what's funny about that, what I love to see, and we got the scoreboard wrong there. It says Christian Irdoja 1 love, and that was a winner there from Andrade and Salazar. So it is 1 love there. But what I loved about that, Mike, is they're up 6 love, and they're still got their head in it. You know, pedal to the metal. Don't let up, right? You know, it's no big deal. We lost a game. No, they want us. They're just, you know, keep stepping on their throat, right? You know, when they're up there, keep it going.
Well, you know, you and I both know that, you know, a lead is a very fickle thing, and in paddle tennis, I don't know if there's another racket sport that has these momentum shifts and swings. Dramatic shifts can happen, you know, at the turn of a head. So
yeah, and we were talking about how that game, you know, got to a funny place, right? You know, because it was a quick overrule, and then a quick missed shot, and all of a sudden, all the momentum's there. If they squeeze that game out, it is like a totally different shift, you know, and it gives them a little life. And to be honest, that's really more than anything else. You know, we could talk about strategy, we can talk about this and that, and I do think they have to change a bunch of things. There's finally a missed lob there, very few errors. They just need a spark. You know, Christian Irdoja just needs a sign of life, you know, a spark. Yeah. You know, and the spark could be that finally, you know, Salazar and we get Pardo de Andrade make a couple of bad choices or just miss, right? A few balls like he missed that lob there. Spark could be anything. You know, they get a lucky leg cord and they squeeze out a game. You just get a game, you know. Let's see what happens. That's a great move, and that'll do something. That's a great cutoff there from Christian. All right, so they're right on their doorstep here of their first game. And, oh, that's such a big backhand. That thing is a monster. Serving it to his forehand is the better play. I mean, I would not hit it hard in there. I actually might go 2/3 into his forehand side. He just crushes it. That backhand. There's another one. I wouldn't hit it into his backhand. I'd go long and deep to his forehand at best. See that? I'd rather he hit that, and that's still crushed. But smartly, he stays back.
Brad, in the modern game, one of the things that really I find I got to hand it to these players, and men and women, is the range that they have when they're hitting the roller overhead. You know, I mean, they're hitting it a lot of times with both feet behind that service line.
And there's another fadeaway forehand, and now we get to another sudden deuce game. And they're so far, they are 0 for 2 on them. Big backhand off the screen, but that's what they want him to play. Switching at the net quickly. And then he's going to do this steady diet of, there's a lob down the line, so he's not going to be able to find the side screen as well. So he's got to go the other way with it. Oh, tricky. He's got a good ball look here. And they finally get on the board. And you see Irdoja in the background, he's raising the roof. He's like, come on, crowd, give me something here. Help us out.
Throw him a bone. Let's
Here we go. Hey, that was a huge, huge game. And it got set up with a beautiful, quick shot. He finally lobbed it, but like you said, Mike, you know, if you break that point down, he lobbed it down the line, which forced Salazar to go into Christian. Right, and then Christian was, as they're switching the play, Christian's able to hit that ball down at his feet. He gets a weak reply, and then they come in with the big forehand that he's able to create an error off of. So, you know, it's sort of a couple of things that we've been talking about. And they just got to take note of that. Not like of how it actually happened, not just, oh, look at that, what a good random sequence of events, right? No, I lobbed this thing down the line. We're forcing the play a different direction. He can't just keep hammering it to my backhand. See, and he's just coming at his backhand one after another. All right, 30 love, but that's got to be a weight off. You know, funny enough, too, after that game win, what a great get there. He backs off, keeps his paddle in the right spot, makes a good reflex. After that game there, I might have taken like a full 20 seconds, like whatever the max time is, walk around, wait a half second, and then get in position to return, right? You know, let things simmer a little. We just got our first game, right? Let's go. Let's take a minute. Backhand cutter easily read there from Christian. Well done. He didn't mean to hit it that deep. Yes, he's going to the middle more. Now if he gets it over there, that at least changes the pattern a little bit. Oh, that's going to work. I tell you, that net is just getting a workout today. There's been 2 or 3.
Yeah, had an insult to injury here for Christian and Irdoja.
What are you talking about? They just won a game like 3 seconds ago.
A let court dribbler that they falls on their side. Not getting many rolls.
Here a little bit of the, just off the frame and out of play. So 2-1 now for our #1 seeds, Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. So, all right, they did get their first game though, so good start there. But
see Irdoja just he had his hands on his knees there, head down, trying to catch a little breather. It's a good time to talk about kind of the Fairfield Open and our co-tournament directors, Jeff Kong and the great Macy Elliott. You know, they've done a fantastic job. I think they've raised over $50,000 with the real goal of raising the experience for the fans as well as the players.
And speaking of players, they had 13 tournaments here, right? 13 different tournaments. They had a women's tour, a women's challenger, a women's PTI red, a women's PTI yellow. Same thing on the men's side, a men's tour, a men's challenger 1, a challenger 2, and then, you know, 5 other PTI events. So it was extremely well attended. You know, Wilton's a good half hour, 45 minutes, you know, from Greenwich. There was courts all over the entire Fairfield County for this event. And it was so well supported by the community. And it was a real fun draw too. I think next year they were actually worried because it's so early in the season, and I think they may be moving it back a week next season. But still, it was a terrific event.
Yeah. Was it 300 and over 350 players, I believe?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You know, the other thing you gotta start to talk about a little too is, you know, we really haven't, like you said, you know, Irdoja, 2022, I believe, national champion. You know, he hasn't played in a couple of years. You know, he's still working, and he's, you know, playing in the, like, yeah, that's a tough one. You know, in the New Jersey leagues, you know, the pros play in the New Jersey leagues, but, you know, going through whole tournaments, he hasn't been doing a whole lot of that. You know, so I don't think it's a fitness thing. He looks fine, but even just sometimes the mental toll, getting through, you got to play your way into some of this stuff again as well. And there are definitely moments here where if he looks back, he's going to have to realize like that, you know, the fadeaway back, and some of that stuff might just be because, you know, you're getting a little drained. You know, it's a good 5 matches, you know, to win this event. 32 draw, not so simple. 3-1 now.
It's mentally, yeah.
Yeah, and some of these
mentally
errors,
and physically taxing.
to me, are mental. See, like, to me, I don't see the purpose of that drive. He's off our screen, right? And Pardo de Andrade is right on the net, and he makes an amazing drive. I can't even say he didn't. You know, and that's one of the special qualities. He can make these amazing shots from ridiculous positions. But
just because you can doesn't mean you should,
it doesn't mean
right?
you're gaining anything from it, right? Well, there was that one that he made, but there's also 4 or 5 that he's missed, right? You know, and the question is how many points has he won with it, right? It's, you know, we had this sort of conversation briefly, and somebody chimed in about Moyo hitting that shot from the backcourt that's like a cutter. And he hit it like a huge moment in the match and missed it, and then he tried it 2 more times. And somebody did chime in and explain why he does it. He's developed it because they think this thing. But if you look at the balance of it, did we see it work 1 time out of the 3 or 4 times he did it? No. So, like, you know, so maybe it works at a certain level, maybe it doesn't at another, or maybe it only works at the guys off the net, right? So you have to maybe take a deeper dive to it. Like, I'm sure when, you know, Mick Irdoja is playing a league match, and invariably in every single league match he's probably playing, almost every single one, he's probably the best player on the court. If he's off the court and hitting a, huge bolo forehand with a finish up there, he's probably drawing an error when he makes it 70% of the time. It's probably working for him, right?
Yes.
Not against him. But here, it's not working for him.
And if you look at Brad, the overheads from Enrique and Jose Salazar, they're playing basically the ball to the outside thirds of the court, right? Avoiding the forehands up the middle.
Absolutely.
I think that Christian and Irdoja, when they're lobbing, they need to be lobbing almost into the similar lanes,
right?
Keeping the ball out of the middle of the court for the overheads.
Agreed. Yeah, and then get some better shifts. And there's no question, they're actually working, and that's just like a frustration shot. It's like nothing's really working, so I'm going to try to hit a little half volley, dink it at his feet, and maybe I'll get a blitz behind it. But they're going at Irdoja, but they're not just going at him. They're going one after another. Salazar's hitting 10 balls in a row right to his backhand, right? That's a beautiful ball there. Nice shot. One of the few missed volleys there, 30 all. Yeah, they need this game. Christian Irdoja just got to stay close so that anything can sort of happen. They're still not out of this. It's a good look. Oh, unfortunate. It's a great look, great return. I think he just kicked it out of play. So we'll see what that means. All right, new ball's coming in here. Wonder if that'll elicit any type of warning. Nothing there. All right. But I can understand his frustration. That's a good look. It's a great setup, though. But that's a good point. Nicely set up, ball off the net, got a good blitz, and kind of when it rains, it pours, Mike.
Yeah. Takes us to our word from our sponsor here. Corian is excited to partner with the APTA because whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they are already part of the APTA community. Learn more at www.corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA.
Well, they're not done yet, but we're getting close. And if my producer here has anything to say, he's got his head in his in his hands and the head down, he looks a little finished off. His day's been ruined. Rooting hard for Christian Irdoja here, but he seems a little finished. If you don't pick up your attitude, they may not make it through. I think they feel the energy you're throwing out there. But that said, they just also, Salazar and Pardo de Andrade are giving them so little and just playing a perfect match. And, also a perfect match mentally, too, meaning in the moment, believe it or not, it's sometimes not easy to be winning 6-love. You just start getting too loose. They've played tight. And the one moment we got to, and now it's just raining and pouring, love 30, on these guys, just going for a little cutter there. He misses it. We had that first game of this second set, beautiful serve. We saw Irdoja do that 3-4 times. He's got a terrific serve into the nick or the crease. Great shot. They stay up there to try to deal with that. It's just too tough. Situation can go anywhere with that ball. All right, so I believe it's 15-40. I don't know, the score is a little wrong there, so it's 15-40, 2 break points here for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. 3 again, because you got to remember the sudden death point if they get to deuce. Yeah, just doing a great job reading the right situations. The other thing too, though, that you can see a plan, and you can see a strategy, and that's out, and that is game. So it's 5-1 now for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. You can see a plan from Pardo de Andrade and Salazar, how they're hitting their overheads, where they're placing them. Can you see any type of plan or thought process of what they're trying to do when you look on the other side from Christian and Irdoja? You don't actually see that same kind of thing. Whether they're winning or losing, we just haven't seen it. They haven't been able to find one, or at a certain point, things just got to a point where, they tried to hit their way out of it. I'm not really sure. Oh, that's gonna, left forward, and then a heavy cutter in there. Nice dig.
And court director, count the number of lek cords that we've had today. Doesn't it seem like there's been a higher number than normal?
It's been quite a few. It's been, I'd probably put it up there close to 10. It's been quite a few. But again, those have been part of probably one of the more even parts of the game, right? And we are at 30-love, meaning like I think Christian and Irdoja got a few of those. And when we'll take a look at the court director's stats, and as the score indicates, they will be one-sided. All right, so that brings us to triple match point. Salazar, Pardo de Andrade, and what a tournament they've had. Oh, little confusion there, and a perfect pace early return. It looked like Salazar was going to cut it off, but it sneaks through for a winner. So 1 match point saved. Yeah, again, hard rollers into the Irdoja backhand, playing all their overheads to the outside third, nothing hanging in the middle. And they're just not lobbing well enough. And there it is, game, set, and match. So, Mike, not a result that we would have expected coming into this thing, but a flawless match was played by Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. And, there's really not much to say. Kudos to Alain Villemur in the chair. We'll take a look at our court director points. I guess on the positive side, if we're doing it, I think in the first set they won 74% of the points or something like that. So they got it down to 71%. But, clearly all one-sided here. Christian Irdoja tied him in the sudden deuce wins. It's the only game they got was one of the sudden deuce games. Just a flawless match by those guys. And it's great to see, though, Mick Irdoja back on the tour. And as I said, if he's out there, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And as he plays himself into shape, just a massive forehand. And, for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar, he played a perfect match part of the day. He closed in on the volleys, made perfect shots, struck his backhand well, never took a bad look, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have a plan to try to make it that way, but he was perfect. They both were.
Tip of the cap to those two. They played where they played as well as I think they possibly could, and hats off to them. They really took the game to Christian and Irdoja and never let up, and that it's a good lesson for everybody.
All right, so for those of you who earmarked a good 2.5 hours to watch the final this morning, you can flip over to the women's final, where Patience Herrick are taking on Morgan and Sakura. So that should be a terrific final. You can plop over there. And also, coming up, what tournaments do we have coming up, Mike? Steel City Open.
We've got Steel City Classic next weekend in Pittsburgh.
All right, so the tour marches on next weekend. You can also move over to our women's final. And that'll be a wrap here for the men's final here at the Fairfield Open at the Rolling Hills Country Club.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.